attacking, stripping, let alone murdering, lynching an individual citizen is already against the law, whatever the reason may be. No individual, even in the defense of some transcendent principle, has a right to do that. After all, when Ajmal Kasab came to Bombay and killed God knows how many dozen people with his machine gun, he was caught, interrogated, tried. He wasn't just lynched. The whole point is, in a civilized society, one has to have these mechanisms, and therefore there was never any doubt in any intelligent person's mind that the Gau Rakshak's activities were profoundly illegal. They have no legal right to do what they're doing and interfere with others. And now the government is saying that too, so it becomes a little more difficult to attack the government on this issue, other than the fact that the atmosphere they have created has actually unleashed these forces, and until these recent statements this week, they appeared by their silence to be condoning this unforgivable behavior. That was the burden of our criticism. Ishan, on the advanced stage of decay, that book was obviously a satirical novel, so I took on the privilege of the satirist to be able to try and point to larger truths in a humorous way while poking fun at things. So yes, when I said we are a highly developed country in terms of the history of the past, after all, we were like the US in the 1st century AD, right? We were the largest economy, the biggest exporter, the most significant power, the richest country, all of that. So in that sense, we were once the most developed country on earth, now in the advanced stage of decay. But jokes apart, today, clearly, I mean, ever since the transformations that began in 1991, we've seen a lot of the decay overcome and refurbished. I mean, I think a visit to Bangalore airport alone will demonstrate that to you, because most of our airports, when you guys were not yet born, were truly an embarrassment. And today we have some of the finest, most leading airports in the world. So the evident decay of the past has been overcome in a number of areas. On your second question, look, this is not some sort of presidential system where individual popularity matters to a great extent. It's a parliamentary system. Parties put forward their leadership, and the party of the winning party decides its prime minister. That is the system we have. I'm not a fan of the parliamentary system. I've written a number of articles, essays, and so on, and made speeches explaining why I think our system is fundamentally flawed and not suited to the Indian national character. But no one is going to give us a presidential system overnight, and therefore, living with the system we have, your question becomes very frankly impossible to answer, because no one can run for prime minister. Only parties run for a parliamentary majority from which a prime minister emerges. And my party has a settled leadership. It's not up for discussion.
No, I told him that it's already been answered, because I think people think it's a good idea.
That's very generous of you, but I'm afraid it's good ideas are not necessarily realistic ones, so we can move on. You asked about whether dissent is only valuable if it translates into votes, and whether the Congress has manipulated EVMs. No, in fact, there's a misunderstanding about the Congress position. There is actually not one united position. Some congressmen, particularly after a particular episode in Madhya Pradesh when certain EVMs spewed out the wrong vote, they had raised a hue and cry about this. But equally, other congressmen, Mr. Veerappa Moily from your state is a very good example, openly said, absolutely disagreeing, saying we are the ones who introduced EVMs into this election system. We only did so because we believe that they are not indeed hackable, and we should stick by our principles rather than merely because we've recently lost something, take a different view. So the Congress has more than one view on this issue. On the specific question of EVMs, in fact, as the Election Commission has demonstrated, since the EVMs are not internet enabled, they actually cannot be hacked. The chip is fused into the device. So you would essentially have to be able to change the fused chip or the elements, the software in the chip, in something like 250,000 machines to be able to influence a national election result. It doesn't really seem plausible. And that's why I personally tend not to be a big doubter of the EVMs. The purpose of a voter verified paper trail, however, is to promote trust. If a voter votes for, let's say, the BJP, and a slip of paper comes out of the machine showing his vote is being cast for the Congress, then he has every reason to be worried. But if the piece of paper confirms his preference, then he knows that his vote has been properly cast, and that ultimately, that reassurance will strengthen faith in the system. And we think the voter verified paper trail is therefore not a bad thing.